By day, I was a highly respected great general. By night, I was a lowly servant. He slashed my chest with a blade, only to create a scar identical to his own, and he was the true great general of the Water Kingdom. A year ago, he fought Mark of the Fire Kingdom, but suffered a crushing defeat. Before long, I would take his place and challenge Mark once again. We trained inside a secret chamber. For dealing with Mark's blade techniques, we covered umbrellas with blades and wielded them using a woman's form. Even the Grand General personally imitating Mark's blade techniques was also defeated. On the appointed day, I showed Mark the umbrella made specifically for him, but he only gave a contemptuous smile. Meanwhile, our soldiers infiltrated the city because our true objective was to reclaim the city that had once been occupied. The soldiers covered their entire bodies with blade-filled umbrellas. Using the slickness of the rain, they slid through the city defenses. Even when arrows were fired at them, they could not be stopped. They cut down the flag representing the Fire Kingdom. When Mark saw this scene, he immediately understood what had happened, and this also meant that the defender's son had died. He went mad and hurled his great blade. I dodged it in a miserable state, but from earlier battles, my body was already covered in wounds. He thrust a blade toward my neck, but at that moment, I used the flexibility of the blade to cut his throat. I won this battle, but when I returned home, I discovered that my mother had also been killed. The assassin appeared at that very moment. Just as I was about to be killed, the Emperor's guard suddenly appeared and rescued me. At the same time, the Emperor's assassin appeared in the Great General's secret chamber. It turned out that the Great General had long planned to replace the Emperor, while the Emperor intended to use me to replace the Great General. At this moment, the guard brought in a box, but the instant the box was opened, a blade pierced through the Emperor. The guard then removed his mask. He was the Great General. He claimed that my mother had been killed by the Emperor. At that moment, I picked up the sword from the ground and completely killed the Great General. Then I dragged the Emperor's corpse beside the Great General's body. I walked out of the palace gates and announced that the Emperor had been assassinated. But at that moment, the Emperor's voice appeared.